Look, we're getting ever closer to Paris. Pretty soon, this weekend, we'll be there. On the way, though, first, we had to do stage 16. It was a 178-kilometer hilly hot stage. Yesterday was the rest day. Today, there were 5 riders who DNS'd due to both injury and or COVID. From the jump, a larger group of nearly 30 riders went up the road, and they did open up at about 5-minute gap, which makes this one of the quickest forming of the early breakaways in this year's tour. On the first climb, there were a couple of riders who attacked to try to maximize KOM points, and they managed to open up about a minute over the companions. But on the downhill, the fragmented groups came back together and swelled to 29 riders. The race settled into a bit of a status quo from this point until the Cat 1 Port Alaire. On the lower slopes, Caruso was the first to launch an attack from his breakaway, and then the breakaway was going to shred from that point on. Back in the peloton, Tadej Pogačar started feeling frisky, and he launched his own attack, and that's going to completely fragment the race. For about the remaining 40 kilometers of the race or so, there were attacks just all over the place. Even if you were watching the Le Tour tracker, it was really hard to keep track of who was where and what the time gaps were. But in the end, what we discovered was that it was Canadian Ugo Hulet who was able to take the stage win in a very emotional fashion. And then in terms of the GC battle, none of the attacks really amounted to much other than Bardet wound up losing some time, but there was no change in the jerseys overall. Tomorrow is 130 kilometers. It's a little bit shorter, but it's a lot more punchy. So I guess we can expect to see a lot more attacking going on then.